Love among rivals. Amora Johnson's life had never been easy. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, her academic brilliance earned her a scholarship to Bellwood Academy, an elite high school for the wealthy and privileged. But being different in a sea of perfection came at a cost. The students, led by the manipulative and jealous Kayla Green, didn't see her as a person but as a threat, someone who didn't belong in their pristine world. Kayla, Bellwood's self-appointed Queen Bee, harbored a grudge against Amora for topping every class. This resentment spiraled into cruel pranks and relentless bullying, but Amora remained resilient. Her only solace was her sketchbook, where she poured her pain into beautiful art. Among the chaos stood Ethan Cole, the school's golden boy. He was wealthy, devastatingly handsome, and the captain of the basketball team. But unlike his peers, Ethan was an introvert, often retreating to the music room to compose songs on his guitar. Despite his aloof nature, he had secretly noticed Amora's quiet strength, though he never acted on it. One fateful afternoon, Amora stayed late at school to finish an art project. As she walked home, her path led through a dimly lit alley. Unbeknownst to her, Kayla had plotted her most heinous act yet. Enraged by a public embarrassment Amora had unintentionally caused in class, Kayla conspired with a group of delinquents to harm her in the worst way imaginable. They cornered Amora, their cruel intentions clear, and one of them began recording. Just when all seemed lost, Ethan appeared, his car parked a short distance away. He had been out for a drive, seeking solitude, when he noticed the commotion. Without hesitation, Ethan intervened, his towering presence and sharp commands scaring the attackers away. Shaking and on the verge of tears, Amora clung to Ethan as he led her to safety. He drove her to his home, a sprawling estate far removed from the cruelty she had just faced. There, he encouraged her to talk, to release the fear and anger that had built up inside. That night marked a turning point for both of them. For Ethan, it was a chance to break free from his silent world and use his voice to protect someone who deserved better. For Amora, it was a reminder that kindness and bravery could still shine even in the darkest moments. As their bond grew, the two decided to stand up to Kayla and her cronies, using Amora's art and Ethan's music to expose the truth behind Bellwood's gilded gates. Together, they ignited a spark of rebellion that inspired other students to fight for a school where everyone belonged, regardless of their background. After the incident in the alley, Ethan couldn't get Amora out of his mind. She had shown courage in the face of cruelty, and something about her vulnerability mixed with strength pulled at his heart. At first, Amora tried to avoid him, embarrassed by how everything had unfolded. She wasn't used to people defending her, let alone someone as popular as Ethan. But Ethan was persistent. He started small, helping her carry her books, sitting near her during lunch, and making excuses to talk to her after class. Amora, shy and unsure, found herself fumbling for words whenever he was around. She couldn't understand why someone like him, adored by everyone, would be interested in her. A new kind of attention. News of Ethan's growing interest in Amora spread like wildfire. Kayla and her group were furious. How could a scholarship girl, a nobody, capture the attention of the school's star basketball player and musical prodigy? They tried to sabotage Amora at every turn, spreading rumors and mocking her at every opportunity. But Ethan wasn't having any of it. Whenever someone tried to insult Amora, he would shut them down with a sharp comment or a cold glare. His protectiveness only fueled the jealousy of her rivals, especially Kayla, who had been nursing her own crush on Ethan for years. Amora's naivety. Amora, however, remained oblivious to Ethan's feelings. She thought his kindness was just him being a nice person. When he offered to walk her home, she assumed it was out of pity. When he gave her tickets to his basketball game, she passed them on to a classmate, thinking he was just being generous. Ethan found her naivety both endearing and frustrating. He was used to girls throwing themselves at him, but Amora didn't seem to realize how much he liked her. She treated him like a distant friend, always polite but never encouraging. Ethan's confession. One evening, after a particularly tense day at school where Kayla had tried to humiliate Amora during a group project, Ethan found her sitting alone in the library. She looked tired and defeated, but still beautiful in her quiet way. "Amora," he began, sliding into the seat across from her. She looked up, startled. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" "I came to see you," he said simply. "I wanted to make sure you're okay." Amora hesitated, unsure how to respond. "I'm fine. Just tired, that's all." He leaned closer, his voice soft. "You don't have to deal with all of this alone, you know. I care about you, Amora. More than I think you realize." Her eyes widened, and her cheeks flushed. What? "I like you," he said, his tone serious. "Not as a friend. Not out of pity. I like you because you're strong, and kind, and real in a way no one else here is." Amora was speechless. She had spent so much time trying to stay invisible, she had never imagined someone like Ethan could see her, let alone fall for her. The fallout. The confession sent shockwaves through the school. Kayla and her clique ramped up their efforts to tear Amora down, but Ethan's loyalty never wavered. He stood by her side, defending her and making it clear to everyone where his heart lay. Amora, still cautious and unsure, didn't give in easily. She didn't want to believe that someone like Ethan could truly love her. But as weeks turned into months, his actions spoke louder than words. He supported her dreams, encouraged her art, and made her feel like she belonged. Love in bloom. Slowly, Amora let her guard down. She started to see Ethan not as the untouchable school star, but as someone who genuinely cared for her. Their relationship blossomed quietly, away from the prying eyes of their classmates. Ethan taught her how to play basketball, and she introduced him to the world of art. Together, they found a balance that made them stronger. And while the jealousy of others never completely faded, it no longer mattered, because in each other, they had found something far more important: acceptance, understanding, and love. If you love this story, please drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to our channel to get more exclusive and entertaining African folktales and random stories too. Stories by Rartine Art. We also make and produce beautiful DIY arts and crafts for your home, room and wall decors. Follow and message us on Facebook, Rartine Crafts and Art. Stay tuned for our next story.